to the next. This is like the third episode of us discussing my new book, Finding Your Way: 7 Ways to Love and Heal Yourself, that you can order off my website, www.mosass.com, and or Amazon as well. So you can find them on both platforms. And I'm back with Miss Keisha Bell Ross. Help me, y'all. Anyway, Lord, why?
You got to be ready.
We are getting ready to talk about chapters 4 and 5 today.
Yes. Wait, I love this title. If it's white, it's not right. If it's brown, lay it down. Okay, let's start.
You know I'm creative.
I know it is.
Okay. So where are we starting at?
Oh, well, first of all, since we're starting off, and I want to open it up with a scripture.
I love it. Let's do it.
Yes, let's open it up with a scripture. It is not good to eat too much honey, nor is it honorable to search out matters that are too deep. Proverbs 25 and 27. Okay, and I want you to start off with your disclaimer on this chapter too.
Yeah, the most important thing is to note that I am not a licensed nutritionist. Okay, I want you, even because we talked about even the physical fitness part of it, you should always check with your doctor and your nutrition before you take on any of these suggestions. They're just merely suggestions. They are not for you if you have not checked with your doctor to ensure that that's what you can do. I will tell you, even right now, as I am on this new health journey because menopause is putting its paws on me, I actually go see a doctor monthly for my nutrition and my physical health. It's so important to get your doctor's permission.
I love that you emphasize that, because a lot of people take for granted, like going to a nutritionist, going to your doctor. Oh, I don't need to do those things. I'm not sick. We wait until, I think it is in our culture. And I think it's because of multiple reasons, not just because of ignorance or tolerance level. I think it's because maybe I'll just say 50 years ago. 50 years ago, we didn't have insurance. We didn't have these things accessible. So I think just the mindset of not going to the doctor, or doctors mistreating us.
Yes.
Or not being able to get the care, or the accessibility to it. So I think it's set in some people behavioral patterns not to go to a doctor, but it should be a habit to go. Don't wait until it's something you can't walk or you can't move. Yeah, don't wait for diagnosis. Right. And so I'm glad you emphasized that.
Yeah, because the biggest thing is everything. We talked about this before, where we pass down things from generation to generation that just don't fit anymore. We have no excuses in today's world to not to be able to go to a doctor, because even if it's Medicaid or Medicare, there is some form of insurance that you should be able to get to be able to go to the doctor, even if it's governmental assistance. Why can I say that? Because that's where I started. I will never tell you anything that I haven't done myself. So I'm not saying it like, oh, you can just go get it. I understand there's a process behind it, but don't let a process keep you from living.
Preach.
Okay,
so let's go into it. I love that you're talking about nutrition, because I always think of the 80-20 principle on that, where it is 80% of what you eat and then 20% exercise. And they said it's the most obtainable, realistic thing to do. Instead versus going on a diet. Look at what you're intaking into your body. But do you want to speak about how you feed your body?
100%. So 80-20 rule for me is 80% of the time I'm eating clean. What does that mean? That means I'm eating food that die quickly. If you're eating foods that's stored up in your cabinets for a long amount of time, in your freezer for a long amount of time, 9 times out of 10 there's some sort of preservative or some sort of chemical that is able to help that food sustain and preserve that long period of time. So I like to eat foods that die quickly. What kind of foods die quickly? Think about it. Your fruits, your vegetables, right? Your meats, if you're a meat eater, those things die quickly. Now, 20% of the time, let me tell you, I'm going to have some fun, okay? 20% of the time, I'm going to go out. When I go out to dinner,
especially with me.
Yes, I eat whatever I want, and I also allow myself that dessert. But the thing is, the majority of the week, though, I'm eating clean. And that's the most important piece to this.
I think something I heard or read a few minutes ago, not a few minutes ago, but recently, was that Americans take food as luxury. That, so, and I think that's where greed and like I can eat all the crab legs and shrimp I want, is because of that that luxury of it, of that greed of it, and not taking it as like, okay, we should be in moderation.
Well, see, the biggest thing is, though, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna talk about y'all crab eaters just for 1 second.
Well, don't.
I'm gonna go there because 9 times out of 10.
Go ahead. Let's talk about
the
it.
reason why that is because I grew up with nothing. So when I get a little bit, I go overboard. So think about it. Growing up, crab legs wasn't on my table at night. It just wasn't.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? My parents did well for themselves. I mean, we didn't have much money. We did okay, but crab legs wasn't on the table, right? So then we grow up and we get a little bit of money, and they tell us I need y'all to hear me. They tell us the luxury is to be able to eat seafood.
Yes.
So in order to fit in with what we consider or what we think or what they fed us as luxury, we start feeding ourselves those things, and then we're glutton.
And going excess.
Right, and then we're being excessive with it. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a crab leg. I'm not saying that.
All right,
I'm not saying that. But there is a reason why. You know what I'm saying? When you grow up without many things, so what happens is when you get older, you overindulge in those things.
Absolutely.
That's why our kids have so much stuff that we didn't have because we grew up without it. Now I don't know what it did. I don't know if it's good or bad for these children. We're gonna talk about them right now.
That's another chapter.
We're gonna get back. We're gonna get back in here. We're gonna get back into this clean eating.
Yeah.
And because I really want people to enjoy themselves. I really want you to know that you can enjoy life. The thing is, we have to take care of the temple that is our body.
Absolutely.
And the way to do that is to make sure you're eating clean majority of the time. So that way, when you go out, it's a treat, right? It's a treat. And the thing is, too, we also use food at every occasion. When we're happy, we eat. When we're sad, we eat, right? When we're excited, we eat. So it's everything that we do, particularly in our culture, right? If we have a graduation party, birthday party, funeral, we eat.
Yes.
And what do people bring when someone passes away?
Yeah.
Loads and loads of food. So culturally, I get why that happens with us. It's just a matter of us being mindful and saying, okay, has to be some moderation to this thing. I can enjoy it, but there has to be some moderation. And I'm going to say, you got to stop eating the KFC. All right, I said it. All right, I'm not going to say more.
Oh, you know what? I'm not going to, I don't know where this video is going to flow to, but yeah, KFC. Okay, one of the things you said, look, I'm not even going to go there. I was just like, ew, the first 3 letters of the word diet.
Yes.
You said die.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Because people don't realize, first of all, you should be eating for a lifestyle change. If this is not something that you can maintain at the age of 7, because we're trying to get to 70 and 80, and you should not be doing it now, right? So if you're talking about all these Mediterranean diets and we're never going to eat carbs for the rest of our lives, and we're cutting back so much so we're cutting out the nutrients that we're supposed to be getting into our bodies, that's why you end up dying.
Yeah.
So a diet is not conducive. What you want to do is a lifestyle change. Exactly. And so that's why I talked about in the book replacing some of the white foods, right? So you talk about the white products, white rice, white bread, white pasta, and replace them with whole grain options. And again, remember, I said you have to check with your physician because not everybody can handle the gluten and not everybody can handle certain grains, right? So this is why it's important to check out what you can do. But I will tell you that there is no doctor in this world who's going to tell you to use that white flour, okay?
Okay.
You need to cut it out. You need to cut it in the slim fast. And, because a lot of those things, again, I want to be clear. Have I ever used those things to jumpstart my lifestyle? Yes. I would be a hypocrite and a liar to say that I didn't do that. However, it's one thing to do it as a jumpstart. It's another thing to try to use it for prolonged periods of time. It is not healthy to just drink 2 shakes a day and eat 1 meal for the rest of your life. No, it just isn't.
You're not going to.
And I said what I said.
I'll let you say what you say. Okay. I'm going to go. One thing my sister recently told me, her doctor said that you should be shopping on the outer limits.
Yes, the outer perimeters of the grocery store. Supermarket. Absolutely, because that's where those foods that die quickly that we're talking about, they're usually on the outer perimeter. It's once you go up and down those aisles where you're going to find all those refined sugars and those preservatives and those saturated fat. That's what you're going to find that in the middle of the aisle. Yeah. And I understand it, right? I get it. I want some chips sometime too. I'm not going to lie. But then I have
whole grain chips in those
whole grain chips ain't no child. Now we gonna tell them people them chips ain't good for you no more than the man in the moon. They lie. Okay, they lie. But we ain't gonna talk about that right now because that's not we on my book.
We're on your book and we're gonna talk about how you stated it is true. I've heard that so many times that sugar is addictive.
Oh man, let me tell you. So this was a couple years back when I started in my fitness journey. I wanted to go on a cold detox because I had heard so many things about sugar just going to school for. So when I went to get my certification for fitness, we learned about nutrition. So I heard so many things about sugar and just how addictive sugar was. And then I was like, for me, I was like, I need to test this out. So I went to my doctor and told them what I want to do. My doctors know that I'm crazy. Dr. Borst loves me. She knows this. Okay. I said I wanted to do this. So I got her permission and I cut out all sugar. First of all, I'm not gonna lie to you, it was one of the hardest things that I ever did in my life because there is sugar literally in everything. Everything. And I'm talking about no sugar, I'm talking about no aspartame either, because that is horrible for your kidneys. Horrible. So no sugar. And I listen, the first week I couldn't tell you the headaches, the body aches. I had cravings, I had anger.
Yeah.
It was like my body was sore. It was like I had been in a fight. I was nauseated and I was like, man. But after I got through what I considered the sugar detox, and it literally almost took me 2 weeks, really. And then I was like, okay, I started to feel better, but I was clear. My skin was clear. I had less cravings. I ain't gonna lie, I did go back to eat some of that sugar. I'm not gonna front in the streets. However, it was an experiment that I needed to go through because it showed me just how addicted I was. I'm not talking about anyone else. Me, I was addicted to sugar. It was like crack. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I was like, I need some sugar in that shakes that you get. But man.
Just talk about it. Think about when you eat something, you're like, oh, I need something sweet to wipe that.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh my
God. It's that addictive thing.
Horrible.
Like Horrible. So let's keep going into the sugar. Let's talk about salt and carbs.
So here's the thing. Hypertension runs in my family. My father has high blood pressure, so I was well aware of the dangers of hypertension since I was younger. Same as diabetes as well. But the thing is, salt is absolute. I'm sorry, y'all. Sodium is harmful. You have to watch your sodium levels. So when we talk about those foods that are stored for long periods of time, check out the sodium level. They are so high in sodium. I love my black people, and I know we love some good seasonings, but I'm gonna need y'all to work on getting great seasoning. You don't even have to cut back anymore because I did put in the book, and I'm not gonna tell you on this camera because you're gonna have to read it. Some great flavor. I'm talking about. Listen, I grew up in my mother grew up in the South, so everything was fried, dyed, and laid to the side. Okay, so I'm talking about seasoning you can replace that are good like that.
Yeah, there are some good ones out there.
Yeah, there are some great ones out there. And then when we talk about carbs, right, getting rid of the carbs that are absolutely horrible for you and replacing them with complex carbs such as sweet potatoes. I love potato. Cauliflower rice is great for you. Brown rice, whole grain rice. Again, you have to check with your physician because it's not still good for some people. Some doctors tell patients to actually swap out the brown rice for jasmine rice. So again, that's why you have to check with your physician, especially if you are dealing with type 2 diabetes. And I'm just going to say, who knows all too well about how to handle that?
You want me to put my business in the street?
Okay, never mind. Okay, I'm going to go back to this here because I will just say you want to have complex carbs because they are high in fiber.
Yes.
Yeah,
and you want to monitor because you know what? And I will say, based on my experiences, that there are certain foods that will we call them like danger foods that will shoot blood sugar up to the moon. You don't even think about things like pizza, like potatoes, like Chinese food that might have cornstarch in it, and that's those things that will pancakes will shoot your blood sugar up, and you will be battling your body all day to bring them down. And you're thinking, oh, I just ate this, and it's nothing wrong with this, but you're wondering like what's going on and why your blood sugar is high, why you're feeling crazy, or why you start having drops. People don't think about having drops, not eating or doing fast, and if you're fasting and you're working out and you're not taking care and having that balanced diet, your body is going to crash and your blood sugars are going to drop. And now you're feeling faint and you're not wondering what's going on, but they're trying to maintain this fasting and this unbalanced lifestyle. So I think that's a part of it, having that balance in your nutrition. And you're fueling
and we're
your
talking
body.
Particularly for someone who's been diagnosed with diabetes, because for people who don't have diabetes, you'll find that when you go to bariatric doctors, they'll tell you that they love intermittent fasting. But that may, again, this is why it's so important. I love this conversation because you can give us the other end of the spectrum where it may not work for you. This is why we're saying you have to consult a physician.
You have to talk to your doctor.
Have to.
And you have to have, not only just talk to your doctor, make sure you have one of the things that might be an issue too when people have had experience with bad doctors, we talked about have experiences with bad counselors or therapists, but you can have a bad experience with a doctor, and that's why people may not go. Interview your doctors. You don't have to get stuck with a doctor. I've been blessed to have an amazing team of doctors, and it's through experience. And there are some great doctors around, and there's some horrible doctors around. It's just like with anything. With anything, it could be a great restaurant, but it could be some horrible restaurants.
Right,
but
right.
take some time. If you're not happy with your doctor, find the next doctor. And
The biggest thing, though, I'm saying this to my Black women because this is something that we both experienced in some ways. I definitely experienced this lately. If there's a doctor that is not listening to you, that absolutely is not the doctor for you. Not. Your symptoms are not fake. Your symptoms are real. What you're feeling is real. No, you are not crazy. Don't allow them to make you think you are crazy. I want you to document every day in a diary what you were feeling. And then especially what you're eating before you feel that, absolutely. Right? And keep a running log because they will make you feel as though like something is wrong with you. I've had so many times, and they want to pretend like it's not real. It's real. You know your body. Listen to your body. You don't let someone else diagnose exactly you, and you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna go with this because this is what they say. No, you know your body. Just listen is the best advice I can give you. But also make sure you have a doctor that you can be completely honest with. Nothing. Don't hold anything back. Because why do we do this, y'all? Go to the doctor and you need help, but you don't want to tell him all the things that you ate and did. They need to know everything. Even down to the gynecologist. It's time to get vulnerable. It's time to get it's vulnerability. And the reason why we're not vulnerable, I'm talking to my people again, is because we lack trust. And I get it. I get it. Maybe doctors did whatever in the past and you don't trust. I get it. However, here's the thing. Find a new doctor. Find somebody you can vibe with. Find somebody you can be open with. I need you to trust someone because that someone could be the very person that can save your life. Amen. That part. Okay. Let's go to hydration. Oh, this is my favorite topic. Look. This is my favorite topic. Hold on. Just want you to know. Cheers. Go ahead. We didn't plan that, by the way. We really didn't. We really didn't plan that. I am a water fiend. So here's the thing about hydration. Again, I'm going to always say it, check with your doctor. However, you should be at least drinking 5 of these a day. Yeah. I mean, that's minimum. 5 16.9 ounce bottles per day. If you don't have bottles, right? So it's 2, measure your cup, right? Yeah. So it's 8 ounces is a cup, right? So basically this is 2 cups, essentially. So you should, because you have to keep hydrated. A lot of times we'll think something is wrong with us and it's just the fact that we're dehydrated. But it's correct. It is with headaches and when you, especially for me, I know when I'm having a migraine, most times I'm dehydrated because if I forget to drink. And I will say this, I know, please don't throw this phone. Please don't throw your phone at me and don't shut me off. But I need you to hear me. You gotta get rid of those sugary drinks. Yes. Please, for the love of God, get rid of it. And again, I'm gonna talk to my coffee drinkers for a second. I'm a Starbucks girl. Well, love my Dunkin', but I'm a Starbucks girl. I will tell you just very honestly, I do now because I have to watch. I get the skinny vanilla latte. Okay. I get it. It's not the same. I'm here with you. However, I'm not going to tell you to throw your coffee away. I'm going to tell you that you have to watch what you put what you put in it. You do. Absolutely. We have to watch the cream and the sugars that you're putting in there. And I'm going to tell you right now, although I love Starbucks, most of that stuff, the Frappuccinos, we know this. We know what we know. Yeah. But here's what I'm going to say to you. You have to get yourself to a point to realize that being here to leave legacy behind is more important than that coffee drink. It just is what it is. We got one chance. That's it. And again, flavor your water up. Yeah. Right? I know people listen, but I love infused water. I do. I like it, but she don't like it. I'm different. Yeah, but I love infused water. But I will say that the key also too when you're on a weight loss journey is hydration. Is hydration. If you are drinking alcohol, for every shot, cup, you drink of alcohol, you should be chasing it with 116.9 ounce bottle of water. I'm not going to tell you not to drink because I'm not here to tell you
Oh, okay, because
anything
I was gonna
what to
say.
do. Listen, I'm not here to be the police, but I will tell you that you should be drinking more water than you consume an alcoholic beverage.
I agree with you.
So now look,
Okay.
they're gonna turn this
I
off. They're
know.
gonna
Let's
get
go
their
to
card
dairy.
out.
Hurry up. Go to dairy. Go to dairy.
Oh my God,
Go
there's
to
so much
dairy.
to say about dairy. If you are experiencing inflammation, I'm just gonna leave it here. Really,
Okay.
if you are experiencing inflammation in your body, it's the dairy.
Mm-hmm.
Dairy produces mucus in your body. When I cut out dairy in not just my everyday lifestyle, but also my kids. So I took away the milk from them in the cereal because when I looked at how much sugar was in the cereal, my
Oh
God,
yeah, that is
my God.
crazy.
So I took
That's
it away,
crazy.
and not only throughout the winter times, I don't get as sick anymore. They don't either.
Mhm.
And you know what that means, Mom? They can take their tail to school. Woo, what are you doing? My kids do not call home with no colds, no flus. I'm not saying it's the end all be all,
Yeah,
but I'm telling you,
you saw a difference.
I saw a huge difference. And I was like, whoa, they're not coming home sick. What are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, moms, if them kids is coming home talking about they got colds and all that stuff, I'm going to tell you, take that there. Think about it. When you really get congested, what do they tell you to do? Stop drinking milk.
Yeah.
They tell you that, right? And start replacing with vitamin C and things of that nature. So I'm just going to leave it there because the people going, they're going.
Yeah, they're going to. But I will just quote you and say, ask this question: do you love yourself enough to take the time out to cook and feed your body good foods? So, do you love yourself that much?
Yeah, and I get it. You know, they've made everything easy. I'm not gonna lie to you. I had a DoorDash issue. I had a problem.
Oh, you had more than a problem. That was an addiction.
Now, see, this is why I don't invite people over my house. Okay, and I got myself together. I'm gonna tell you how I got myself together.
How?
When I looked at my spreadsheet. So everything I live on a spreadsheet. Everything in my life is balanced on somebody's spreadsheet. When I looked at that spreadsheet and saw how much money I was spending on DoorDash and the fees, I was like, you don't have to worry about that.
I honestly thought those people were working for you or something. The way they
this
were
is why.
Yeah, but okay, go ahead.
Okay, moving on. This is why you don't let people who know you do these interviews. Okay, and
but
next,
loving yourself as much is this begins with you loving yourself enough to be a leader in your household in health and wellness.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the most beautiful thing for me that's come out of this. Now, when my kids were younger, when I started this all, of course, they grunted, they groaned, they hated it. Yeah. They're like, oh my God, Mom, because I taught fitness, right? Yes. This is why parents got to hold on. So Alexis is now 22 years old. That's what she wants to do, be a personal trainer. Yes. So now she's working out. Yes. Never wanted to do it before, right? Kamora goes to the gym now. That's my cheerleader. Yes. She's at the gym now because she works with GNC with her friends. What is she doing? Weight training. Why? Yes. Her mother was a power lifter.
But you just missed the GNC. You glossed over GNC. Yeah. That's pretty big.
Exactly. Being the manager at GNC, understanding supplements when I was so they watched me. Yes. And then Cameron, Lord help me with my baby. He got the weights in his room, he walking around with his shirt off and his six-pack abs. But here's the thing, they got the chance to see me be a leader in my home because I was hell-bent on not allowing anyone else to be my kid. I was like, listen, no one else is going to be their role model. Mm-hmm. It's going to be me. Mm-hmm. And I get to see the fruits of that labor now watching them. Yeah. They still get on my nerve. However, watching them pick up the habits, gotta hear me, the good habits that I created.
And I love that.
Yeah. So
you sow the seed in them.
Exactly.
And I love that you get to reap and
watch it. I get to
it.
see it. Mm-hmm. I'm a little mad because now they look better than me, child. I'm about to get back to them.
Okay, you know what? At least you can say they're your babies.
To a T.
Oh, you want to talk about a little bit more holistic measures and stuff?
So the biggest thing is I had 2 children diagnosed with ADHD. And what I talked to the doctors about the time because they were the first thing they wanted to do was give medication. And I'm not a medication person. Again, with my disclaimer, it is okay if your children and or you need medication. This is not about anyone, and no one should
Mhm.
take this personal. This is just about the avenues that I
You felt.
explored with my children because I did not believe in medication back in the day.
Mhm.
So I talked about what holistic things we can do. So
Mhm.
we found out if you take out the dyes, and this would happen with the cereal and things of that nature,
Mhm.
the dyes that they were eating, consuming, and the
Mhm.
sugar out of their diet, what would it do? It's
brought them
forced
down.
them to focus. Also, the biggest thing we did, we took away screen time.
Yes.
What we didn't know, the doctor was explaining to us as the kids, just like as we watch TV, there is a million flashes happening at one time. So if you're
Yes.
already a person who don't focus, guess what? You're
Those
all over, and
all
it
over the
makes
place.
them even more hyper.
Yes.
So we took away the screen time, and I handed them a book.
Yes.
And so for them, they didn't get a lot of the, the little laptop things that kids can take along. They got
Tablets.
books. So yeah, they didn't get the tablets, they got
Mhm.
books. So they have forced them to sit down and read line per line. What does that do? Force you to calm down.
Yes.
I also put the oldest one in equestrian therapy. So he got to
okay.
work with horses and learned how to groom horses because it helps them keep
Because
calm.
You have to, calm down
You
and
have to be
patient.
calm. So the
Yes,
horses will be
yes.
calm. So those were some of the holistic measures that I took. For
I
me,
love
it
them.
started with the lifestyle changes and what they were eating, and secondly, it was some of the things that they were consuming. And I get it, Mom. Listen, it was 6 kids altogether. I get that it's busy. I get that
It's
you
a
may
lot.
feel that you don't have time, and it's a lot. I work full time. No, I wasn't a stay-at-home mom.
No.
I worked 2 jobs. And we
sometimes
figured out
3.
I did work 3 jobs. We ain't gonna tell the people that. Oh my God, but I did. My goodness, 2 full-time jobs and still taught at the gym.
Mhm.
Okay, and she was a witness to
Yeah,
that.
yes. That's why I said
She was a witness to that.
3 jobs.
And I was still able to do it.
Yes.
I was still able to do it. So where there's a will, there's a way.
Absolutely.
Period.
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 I'm gonna end this chapter on this.
Yes.
G freaking whiz. I vote that. I vote G freaking whiz in this book.
What?
Like, could you imagine after your final days on Earth,
Woo!
if your tombstone read, "Here lies," and I don't want to say my name.
Don't, somebody else.
I'm gonna say Sally Mae,
Mhm.
because I want Sally Mae and those student loans to go. But
Okay.
that's what I'm gonna say, Sally, who died because of overindulging with saturated fat, salt, and sugar. I was like, gee, freaking whiz. Really?
Could you imagine?
No, I can't.
Exactly.
Can't.
That's and the truth of the matter is, that's what so many Americans are dying from today.
Mm-hmm.
So many things. And again, there are some things we absolutely cannot prevent.
Yeah.
There we can't. But a lot of times what is causing cancer cells in our body is the things that we're consuming. And so the only thing that we can do, because I get it, everybody's like, every other day there's something and we dying.
Yeah.
Do the best you can with what you can and the information that you have with your doctor. Don't try to do it alone. You don't have to do it alone. Just know that you can change the trajectory of your health just by changing the things that you're putting in your body.
Yes, and you hit the nail on the head. Do the best you can with what you can.
Exactly.
You hit it best. Let's go to chapter 5.
Oh,
without
man,
vision, the people will perish. And look, we fancy now.
Ah!
You started off with that song. And, look,
you fancy, huh?
And you fancy, huh?
Nails done, hair done, everything did. Let me tell you something. That was my anthem. Do you hear me? Because the one thing you won't know about me, if I'm stepping out the house, my hair, my nails, everything. Head to toe. You understand me?
Yes.
Everything. But I was so consumed with everything on the outside. And there was no vision for how to care for the inside. So that's how we start off this chapter.
Yes, and this is a heavy chapter.
This was really
I'm going to
heavy.
reposition myself a little bit more because this chapter does get a little bit heavy. So
this was heavy.
And
I would say to some either trigger warning, because we may start to discuss some things that you may have gone through traumatic wise or someone else in your family. So just know that we may be talking about, domestic and verbal abuse in this chapter. So I would say brace yourself for it. Okay. If you can handle it, please continue to watch, because again, we're going to step you through it. And if not, I understand, and we can always come back later.
Absolutely. So let's take this hill. Let's go uphill first and just talk about vision and how scattered you are when you don't have a vision.
Oh my God. When they say without vision the people perish, people get that so confused. It's like, well, who's the people?
Yeah,
You the people.
break that down.
You're the
Break that
people.
down.
Without vision the people perish, meaning your health, your finances, your family,
Yes.
all perish when you don't have a vision for your life.
Yes.
Everything, your success, your legacy, all begins with vision. Period. In the story. And what vision is literally your final destination. So here's the thing. Everybody, when we get ready to go somewhere, somebody sends us the address, right? We put it in our phone. And so it's the final destination. And what does our phone do? It guides us to that address, yes. Right? That's what vision is.
Yes.
So vision, which don't get this twisted, it comes from inside you. No one can give you your vision. It's already built in you, right? So once you write the vision and make it plain, right? Guess what? Then your GPS system, which is your God protection system. See, God can't guide you if you haven't written where you're going. And here's the thing. He needs to know that you understand it. Because listen, it's already, he planted it in you. And I'm not here to tell you who your God is. I'm telling you that throughout this journey, though, you better hold on tight to something. Yes. Okay, that's bigger than you. But the thing is, that's the protection. That's the GPS. It's your God protection system. So once you write it, and he helps navigate you, guess what's going to happen? You have the final destination. So if somebody comes along that does not measure up or add up or get on the trajectory to your vision, you can say no.
Absolutely.
This is not it.
Yeah, you'll go, no, that's not my location, and you'll just get redirected.
Listen, not my location, not my person, not my place, and not my thing. And here's the other thing you're going to appreciate. You will appreciate the redirection because you will really know that's God protection. Because God is saying, that's not where I'm sending you. That's not the vision that we wrote plain. That's not it.
Yep.
That's not it.
And you'll hear it. You'll hear it. And a lot of times we hear things and we start thinking like, oh, I'm gonna do
something
this, but that inner voice is speaking to you. Yes. And sometimes we decide not to listen to
our intuition.
And then here go what you start saying in hindsight. Man, if I would have just listened to myself, man, something was telling me, or I knew, or I had a feeling. So let's keep going. So when you're happy, when you're happy with being chosen instead of knowing that you chose your life, partner, resentment, fear, and anger.
So let's start that over because I need them to hear this.
Go ahead.
When you're happy with just being chosen, instead of knowing that you choose your life partner. Okay? I need you to understand it because most of us think we just want to be chosen.
That's why I want
you get to choose. But here's the thing. When you're just happy with you being chosen, guess what happened? That's when the resentment, the fear, the anger, and the dissatisfaction all leads to what happened? A breakup.
Yeah, because you didn't
choose. You was just so happy. He chose me.
No, you have to.
She chose me.
You have to choose.
Instead of understanding that first of all, you get to choose who you have in your life.
And what do you recommend those choices be based on? Because this is gonna help us get into this chapter. This is gonna help
I recommend that it be based on your, not mine, your core values and principles that you set in your life. So for me, the way my vision is set up, I have a set of core values that I live by. So for example, right, you say you want someone who's spiritual, who knows God. You want someone who has integrity, who's authentic, who's loyal, right? Who's financially stable. So those are the things that you say that you want. Let's just keep it short, right? Number one, once you write those things that you want, I need you to start to become those things because you can't attract what you don't have. Number one. Number two, when you wrote it and it's plain, so if someone comes along that isn't financially stable, that is not loyal, doesn't know anything about a God anywhere, then guess what you can say? This is not the person for me.
Because you put up your values.
Because those are the values that help me uphold my vision.
Yes.
Now, I want you to hear me clearly. It doesn't mean that is a bad person. It just means that that's not the person for you. That's what I need you to hear. Because it's like automatically we want to down people, kick them, talk about them. We can't. At the end of the day, it's okay for them to be and value what they value.
Yes.
But that's not the values for me. So I'm not bending on my values, because here's what happens when you betray yourself and you betray your values. You find yourself with resentment, anger, and bitterness.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
I'm
So
just going,
let's speak on something that you opened up into the book where
Mhm.
you talked about this relationship after your divorce.
Where did we want to start with that?
Start from the beginning.
So let's be honest. The relationship started before my divorce was final. It's just the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to lie about that, because it's an incredible, important piece of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had made up in my mind that I was done with my marriage, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just went on and lived my life.
Mm-hmm.
Point blank, period, wrong. I
Mm-hmm.
don't care what you made up in your mind.
Yeah.
If you got married and you said I do, and you said to death do you part, if you did not go through the proper channels that you did to get divorced as you did married, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Straight up, point blank, period, end of story. I'm
Mhm.
taking full accountability
I agree.
for every piece of what I did. I don't care what my ex-husband did. It was my choice to do the thing that I did.
Okay.
Because it's so easy to blame somebody else for you choosing to do wrong, because two wrongs don't make not one thing right,
I
period.
agree.
So I'm going to hold myself accountable for that. So that's a very important piece of the story. So I got involved with somebody who I was involved with probably like 20 years before that even happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say that this is not about him. This is about me.
And what you went
This
through.
is about the fact that I didn't have a vision for my life.
Mm-hmm.
This is about the fact that I was a grown little girl running around here, not knowing what I wanted, not knowing what I needed.
Mm-hmm.
And I was self-sabotaging and acting out in every way possible.
Mm-hmm.
So when we started to discuss this relationship, I want to be clear that yes, there was physical altercations that happened between him and I. And I'm going to be honest and say that I actually hit him as well. I'm not going to sit up here on this any video and claim victim, because it's not the truth. The truth is I participated fully in it. Part of it, and it's the truth, I thought it was cute. Part of it, I thought it was okay because I saw some things when I was younger.
Yeah.
Part of it said this was love.
Yeah.
Because I didn't experience like what love that didn't hurt before. Everything that I knew about love hurt.
Wow.
Everything I knew about love hurt.
Wow.
And everything I knew about love was you had to fight to get it.
Wow.
So I'm in this relationship with someone, and there's fighting going on, there's cheating going on, and you know what my thought was through all of that? I deserved it. Why did I deserve it? Because I hurt somebody too. And I almost felt like I had to stay in this thing. Like I felt like I tore apart my life, so I have to stay in this thing, no matter what it looked like, no matter what happened. And so it came to a boiling point, which it just got worse. It just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse. So the part that I write about in the book was one of the worst times. And I was living in my old townhome in the town that I live now. And my kids always went to their dads on the weekends. And so I was always the mom. I wanted to listen because I want y'all to ever get this twisted. I need you to hear. I was the mom that I never had company when my kids was home. My kids did not meet no mans. No, not at all. In terms of dating.
Yes.
That it just didn't happen. So when my kids were, and this is another reason why I allow things to go on so much. I felt like I could take anything.
Yeah.
We could fight, you could beat me up, you can do whatever you wanted to do. But it wasn't, in my mind, it wasn't affecting my kids because they didn't see it and they wasn't around it, right?
So you were tolerating it.
I was just tolerating it, right? Like I had to tolerate it in my head.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and part of it was I loved them too. Please don't get that. It's so much. It's so much more that I can't give it. So many layers to it. But this one particular night, we had a real blowout, and he was gonna leave. We got into an argument over something that he read on my phone, and because he gotten in my iPad, he read something that wasn't anything, but to him it was something. And so he was leaving the house, and he was getting up to pack and stuff and leave. And I'm like, "Are you serious?" Because you know me, I'm like, I mean, I'm gonna tell you, I could be real hood. Okay,
she is not lying. Go ahead.
And he was leaving out the door, and instead of letting him just leave, when he got to the car, I yelled "F you" like real loud, like "F you, I don't need you." And so that set him off.
It
set him off, and he ran to me. And in my mind, I didn't think that he was going to hit me. I thought he was going to run to me.
You're outside.
We're outside in front of my house, and this is late at night though. So this has to be about 11 o'clock at night. It's almost 10:30, 11 o'clock. And so in my mind, I didn't think he was going to hit me. I thought he was going to his face and we going to argue because that's what we done. That's not what happened. He started just punching, and when he hit me, I fell to the ground. So I'm trying to cover myself, and I couldn't catch. Only thing I could think of was protect my face. I'm vain. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. And he was just hit me. And I heard my neighbor yell, "Get off of her!"
Wow.
And instantly, I think it snapped both of us because no one had ever known what was happening behind closed doors with the fight. No one ever knew. I mean, there's things that have been happening before, like I got punched in my ribs and it was a sore, but no, those are things that people couldn't see. And so we end up running in the house. We're in the house.
Wow.
So we're in the house at this point, but my door is kind of still open, and I'm yelling at him, and he's yelling at me, and I say the whole effing thing again, and he picked me up by my neck. At this point, he threw me over the couch, and my head just missed the fireplace. And but this time when it hit, I thought he knocked my tooth out. So I felt like my mouth, and instantly, because of the vanity, I'm not gonna lie, I went to run up the stairs because I could feel the blood leaking. And I thought, and so he was running behind me, like to kind of pull me down the stairs. But I don't know what happened. But when I got to run in my room to the bathroom, I turned because I looked back at him. Like in his eyes, I could tell he wasn't there. And then by the time I got to the bathroom, I'm yelling, like, I think I was knocked my tooth out. And I got to the bathroom. I don't know what made him snap, but he just left and ran out the house. And so I'm in the bathroom and I'm just looking at my face, and I was just a mess. My mouth was bleeding, but my tooth it didn't come out. It just busted my lip. I was just like, my face, I could feel like my knot swelling because the way he punched me in my head, like it was just a lot. And so my neighbors had called the police. The police came, and what did I do? Because of what we hear about police and our Black men, I was more scared that the police would catch him and go after him. So I lied, essentially. I lied about a lot of things that night, and I'm not proud of none of this. I'm only telling my story because I want women who are in abusive relationships to know that you can get out. I want women who have come out abusive relationships to know that only thing you need to own in it is your portion of it, and you don't get to carry the burden of thinking that this is something that you deserve, because it took therapy for me to understand I didn't deserve any of that. But it's just the way my brain processes things. So I don't want anybody to hear this and think, poor me. I want you to know that I'm a victor in every sense of the word. The only reason why I'm talking about this, and it's not to say anything bad about him either, because I think we both are suffering through some sort of trauma. But this is about owning your life. Yes. This is about saying, like, I could come out of it. So just, to sum up that whole thing, after that, this is how sad it was. Even after all that, I was so embarrassed, guys. I knew I needed to go to the hospital. Like, for real, I lost hearing in my left ear, and the whole back of my head was like swell, and it was like ringing, and I couldn't hear. It was just a mess. And I didn't go because I was just now thinking about how much I care for my kids. I'm like, man, really and truly, the way I hit my head on that ground, I should have did, but in my mind, I just couldn't bring myself, because I was known in my town. I was a popular fitness instructor. I know people who work at Lehigh Valley Hospital, right? I can't show up there. I can't let people know that behind closed doors, this not tough me. I'm the power lifter. You know what I'm saying? You were powerlifting. I'm not even just a power lifter. I was also the girl who taught self-love and all that stuff in the gym. I couldn't let my mask fall off. Do you hear me? And a lot of and here's the thing. This is why I'm letting my mask crumble today. This is why I'm telling the story. This is why I wrote this book, because so many of us need to kill the mask because it's killing us.
Yes.
I literally could have lost my life
Yes.
not thinking and going to sleep. I mean, because at the end of the day, I had so much swelling, my head was pounding.
Yeah,
It easily could have been a concussion, because also my vision was messed up.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that my vision was messed up because he hit it. It wasn't that he hit me in my eye. It was because of the back of my head was swelling, and so it was a crazy migraine. And so all of that to say that
you survived that.
I survived that.
But so many women have not.
Right.
And so many women and men, I'll say men too.
Oh, absolutely.
Men go through,
and absolutely, and again, there was portions of the time where he was a victim.
Yeah.
But unless I gotta be honest in that.
Yeah.
This is not every woman's story. I know some women never hit, but I did.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Because in my mind, I don't know, the environment that I came from, we actually thought that was cute.
Yeah.
This is love.
I will fight you. I will fight you.
You will not leave me.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so breaking that stigma, God, let me tell you something. I really want to leave this here. We have to break the stigma that putting our hands on one another is okay.
It's not okay.
We have to break the stigma that is cute. We have to break the stigma that it's love. That is not love. I need you to hear me. I need you to understand me. That is not love. No, anyone who puts their hands on you, I promise you, they don't even love themselves because they have no self-control. A part of loving myself is having emotional intelligence to be proactive and not reactive, and not to allow anyone to pull me off my square where I'm putting my hands on them. It is not okay today. It wasn't okay yesterday, and it's not going to be okay tomorrow. And that's what I need you to hear from me. And if you are a person that is suffering through this, I need for you to get help today. Yes. I need for you to pick up the phone and call. There are so many helplines out there. There's a website called Black Girls Therapy. I need you to reach out to a therapist today. Yes. Don't wait for tomorrow, because you may not make it to tomorrow.
Tomorrow's not promised to any of us.
And if you don't feel safe enough to make that phone call, I need for you to just, if you find a ounce of break, go to a fire department, go to the police department,
a hospital,
go to the hospital, right? Get the help that you need. So
let's go to the journey of healing.
Oh God, yes, the journey of healing.
And your spiritual lessons that you got.
So there was something really wrong with me to believe that I deserved what was happening in my life. Yes, I had made mistakes in the past. Yes, I did hurt people. And I know that hurt people. Yes. And I did not deserve that.
No.
But I did not know that. So I talked about this before. Going to therapy really helped me to understand that, because I didn't even have the courage to leave him. I thought it was love. Yes. So he apologized, and as we always do, and he does what he does, and we were back. And it wasn't until after we even had a wedding ceremony, y'all. I mean,
girl,
it was a lot. But after that, I found out that he was still, in the relationship with the person he had been cheating with. And so I finally got the courage to say no more.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing about me. As crazy as that sounds, it took him telling me that he loved another woman. Yeah. It didn't take the hitting.
It took the words.
It took the words. And that's how messed up mentally we can be. Yeah. But just my ego and my pride, it wasn't ego and pride of cleaning up bruises. It was ego and pride of knowing
that he loved someone else.
So he loved someone else. And that
you couldn't take.
Literally, that was it. And when I tell you, when he told me that, I said, thank you. I love you. You don't have to worry about me again. Those are the 3 words that I said. And after that, I never spoke to him again. Ever. Done. And that was it. And so that began my journey of healing. So there was a video where I talked about me going to the therapist's office in the beginning. I didn't tell you why I was on her stoop, and I had gotten there earlier, and I was bawling my eyes out. It was because of this.
Yes.
Because I knew something was wrong with me.
Yes.
Something was wrong with me. So going the healing journey began with me seeking out therapy. Okay. And I needed to know what was the root of it. Why in the world did I accept this behavior? Why did I think that this was okay? And the biggest thing for me is I didn't want to pass this trauma down to my girls.
Yeah.
That for my kids were my Achilles heel.
Yeah.
So if I thought that something was going to impact them, I was going to go get help for myself.
Yes.
And I hate to break it to you. I can't really tell you right now why I thought that was okay, but I'll tell you this. The things that your children see you experience, they will think that it's okay. And they will mimic it. Mm-hmm. So if you want a different generation of healing, you have to get healed.
Yes.
Don't think it's too late for you and they'll do something different. They will fall right into the same patterns
and behaviors.
Absolutely. So if you want to start off with getting some therapy and your help for yourself.
Yeah.
So that's how it began for me. And so once I started getting into therapy, I also started diving more in my spirituality. Mm-hmm. I had already been laid the foundation because I grew up in church. So I grew up in the environment of knowing who God was, yes, and knowing what he could do and what he was capable of. I just didn't believe it because I knew people use God in such horrible ways. So I didn't understand that these were humans, yes, using God, yes, to do the things that they were doing, yes, but it wasn't of God and yes, it wasn't God. Yes. So I had to have form a relationship for myself. Mm-hmm. So it took me to pick up the Bible and started reading for myself. I couldn't listen to somebody else tell me who God was and what he can do. Because I'm like, if this is God and this is what he allowing you to do, then I don't want no part of him. Yeah. And I realized that that's why so many people have church hurt. But I'm going to say this to you too, and I got to say it. I need y'all to stop playing with my father though, because stop saying that this is the reason why I don't go to church. Yeah. If you don't go and you don't have spirituality, it's because you've decided that you don't want a personal relationship with him. Mm-hmm. I promise that anything that a human has done or said in God's name doesn't make it true and it doesn't make it right. Mm-hmm. But you can't allow that person to dictate what's going to happen with you for the rest of your life.
And live out and to choose your destiny.
Exactly.
Choose your destiny, choose your vision.
Exactly.
Choose your path.
That part. So finding that personal relationship with God also with therapies, because it's Jesus plus therapy for me. I said it. Took me to the next level. Yeah. It helped me understand why I thought the way I thought, why I was feeling the way I was feeling. It also helped me to understand that although, I had been touched as a young child by my aunt's boyfriend sexually, and although I had been in, verbally and physically abusive relationships, not just that one, that God had nothing to do with that. Mm-mm. Humans have free will, free will to hurt, free will to kill, free will to steal. But I will tell you this, God kept me through it all. Yes. And he gave me what he said he would, and that was peace. I promise you, the peace that I have in my life, the love that I have in my life, I promise you, to me, gaining that relationship was worth it. Because that's what I have today.
It outweighs.
Listen, and so when people, because I realized it's judgment, it was so hard for me to write this, y'all, because I realized people were going to be judging, and some people who knew me, they're probably going to know who the person is, and that's why I said this is not about him, because again, we all have ugly sides to us. We all need to get healing. This is not about him. This is not about dogging him out. This is not about any of that. This is about me and what I was willing to accept in my life, yes, and what I wasn't willing to accept about myself in this life, because it came down to me assessing myself too, and my behaviors and my patterns as well. So it was hard, and I realized I was going to be judged for it, but then I was just like, so what?
Yes.
Real talk, I ain't even BSing. I was like, you know what? But so what?
Because you know why? Because you forgave yourself. You've grown, exactly. You've learned, and you have that self-love. So once you have that self-love, there's nothing that anyone can say or do. They can try to throw those stones at your house.
I don't care. And I'm not to say that I don't care about anything, because I do care. I care about how my parents feel. Of course I do. I care about how my children feel. But what I mean by I don't care about the judgment. Because one thing that I know for certain, two things for sure, we have all gone through something. We have all gone through things. Some of us brave enough to tell a story, and some of us can't tell a story. I wouldn't say not brave, but can't. They're not there yet. But yeah, I promise you, there's power in it when there's healing in it. It's not power in it if it's woe is me. I'm not the woe is me girl.
No.
That part.
No, you're not. Woo, woo, woo.
What can you woo?
We are going to, my favorite part is the affirmations.
Yeah, and so this
this
is where we're gonna end because we're not,
Yeah.
we gotta say the other chapters.
Yeah, we gotta say that. So I'll go into an affirmation. And one thing I do want to share with the group that you had some great ideas with your affirmations. Put them on sticky notes on the mirror. Put them on sticky notes. Put them on your phone. Maybe it could be your screensaver. Write them down. Say them in your car. I've been saying them in my car.
The reminder benefits the believer now.
Yeah, I've been flipping up down there before I pull up. And I like that you said say them 3 times a day. Yes. Because I think one time, and you know what? Honestly, I was doing it 1 time a day. I was doing it 1 time a day. But I like that reinforcing it. Yeah. That second time, but that third time it was the third time's a charm. That third time, so I like that you stated 3 times.
The thing is about the reinforcement is because we go through hard things in life, and so all day long we're going through things. So we have to continuously feed ourselves. Yes. Because every single moment of the day, somebody is telling you who you are not. Somebody is trying to pull you down. Somebody is trying to take something from you, and it's all negative. So you have to be in charge of your life and say, "Yeah, I'm going to reaffirm myself."
Yes. I had a week like that all week. So thank you for instilling those affirmations with me, because those were my 1-2 punches that helped me get them okay, you know what? I got this. I got that.
You know, one of my favorite affirmations is in this chapter.
Oh, go ahead. You do yours.
My favorite one, God chose me. God chose me. Yes. In all my mistakes. Yes. In all my mess. Yes. In all the nastiness that came out of my mouth. Yes. All the hurt and harm that I did to other people that, I pray that they have forgiven me for. Yes. Even with all of that, he chose me. Despite. Yes. So one of my favorite affirmations to remind myself that God chose me. Yes. And then I remind myself, y'all gonna hate it, but it's the truth. Okay. I be like, you are God's favorite. I know I am. I know I am, y'all. You know how I know this is so real? I wish you could wake up with me. It's how I wake up in the morning. Yeah. When you wake up, I don't have real talk. I don't have a worry. I'm so sick. I'm gonna tell you the truth. My daughter Alexis was in a car accident yesterday, and her car was totaled. And when she called me, she was upset and she was crying. And so the first thing I do as a mom, and I'm like, "Are you okay?" Yes. And she's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Listen, calm down. Don't worry about it. It's just a car." Yes. The truth of the matter is, no, we got to be honest today. If this had been 15 years ago, that would have not been a response, because my son, Antoine, my oldest son, who just turned 30, he was in an accident before. And the first when he came in, I was like, "What? Oh my God, you totaled my car! And you messed up my car!" All I could think about, because the money, right? Why? I didn't have a vision for my life. I didn't have a vision for my finances, so my money was going all over the place. And helping people who would never intended to give money back. You understand? Borrowers, giving people the shirt off my back. Yes. All of that at the sacrifice of my family. Yes. So therefore, I was robbing people to pay Paul, right? Yes. So here's the difference. Yesterday that car accident happened. You did. You were I said, "No worries. Don't even worry about it." I go up to the accident. Both airbags deployed. They said the car is totaled. I promise you. I said, "It's all good." Yeah. And so we got it. You know why? She's here. Because she's not even just that. Yeah. Because of the work that I have done, I can say that I have so much peace. I have peace in my finances. I have peace in my mind. I have peace in my soul. I have peace in my spirit. So guess what? Yeah. That don't even mean anything to me. She saw the car when I told her, I showed her the car, just waiting for the tow people to come get it, and they're going to total it out. Guess what we're going to do? Move on. Yeah. Because I'm good. That part. I read that God chose me and you God's favorite. And you know how I know? Because I woke up. I'm in my right mind. I can walk. I can talk. I can see my kids. There's so much to that. Like every day, you look at the news and you see what's going on. Even today in Arkansas, that tornado that hit, and it was 2 minutes and disaster, and people in a concert getting killed. So, you know how you're God's favorite?
you're watching, you're
Yeah.
listening. You inhale in and out.
You have
So
a
many people.
chance
Yes, yes, yes.
to
At
do
least
something
I'm gonna
different.
stop. My favorite song is one of the Winans. Millions didn't make it, but I was
Yeah,
one of the ones who did.
yeah. And so I want to leave you with this quote that I did at the end of this chapter because I loved it. As simple as it sounds, we all must try to be the best person we can by making the best choices, by making the most of the talents we've been given.
Yes.
And that's by Mary Lou Retton.
Yes.
I appreciate y'all so much for listening. Listen, we only have 2 more chapters to go, okay? So again, I hope you've been able to catch up reading with us and enjoy behind the scenes as to how I came up with each chapter and why I wrote what I wrote, because I think that that's so important. So many people love gossip. I love healing. It just is
Yes.
what it is.
Yes.
And so I pray that this is a healing for someone.
Yes.
I pray that you're able to get something out of this. Again, if you have any sort of questions for me at all, info@mosass.com. Again, you can purchase the book on my website, www.mosass.com, if you want an autographed copy. If not, it's also okay. You can purchase it on Amazon as well. And again, it's Finding Your Way, 7 Ways to Love and Heal Yourself. I love you for listening. Until next time.